Today on the Morning Edition, 2 men are still missing after a weekend seal hunt ended in disaster. The lone survivor now home as family and search crews cling to hope. Plus,
well, this is one thing that he taught me, was to work hard.
well, after months of searching, a heartbreaking discovery near the Susitna River. The fiancée of Iron Dog racer Skye shares what she felt in the moment she got the call. And later, a duo of nuns have gone viral, not for a sermon, but for a surprising freestyle beatbox on live TV. The performance that has the world cheering as the Morning Edition starts now. Good morning, everyone, on this Wednesday. A beatboxing nun, huh?
I saw that on TikTok.
Oh, really?
And I mean, can we talk about that sister's footwork?
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? They got some
doing
talents.
some footwork, and the other one was doing some good beatboxing.
Good for them.
If you have any plans to get outdoors later today, we continue to hold on to at least some sunshine. Of course, we do have some cloud covers this morning. This is coming from those showers and storms that we did see fire yesterday late afternoon into the evening hours. And much like we have been seeing, some sunshine will return throughout the morning hours, and that will carry us through the afternoon with additional rounds of some thunderstorm activity to be expected. 44 is where we're currently sitting at. Another day where we are going to be watching those winds increasing towards the afternoon hours, where we could see those winds anywhere from about 20 to 35 miles per hour. So we are going to see another breezy afternoon across South Central. We are starting off this morning with those temperatures in the 30s and the 40s. Some locations still holding on to that cloud coverage. Others are already beginning to see that sunshine. So as those clouds break away, we are going to see another nice day with those temperatures warming into the mid to upper 50s. And there is a decent shot. We could see areas of the valley climbing well into the 60s later this afternoon. Now, looking at that radar here over the past, this is over the last 12 hours, you can see those showers and storms that fired yesterday afternoon after about 3 to 4 p.m. when we began to see the bulk of that activity. And we saw several lightning strikes across South Central. That activity has tapered off, and we are going to see the first part of the day remaining fairly dry, but we are going to watch additional rounds of showers and thunderstorms that will fire. We're watching this system out towards southeast that's bringing widespread heavy rainfall. That will build back into South Central later this evening. So enjoy the first half of the day where we will see that sunshine. Those temperatures will warm upper 50s, if not some lower 60s as you head into the valley later this afternoon. And of course, we are going to continue to see that potential for some 60-degree readings. But for the month of May, we've seen very few 60-degree readings. I'll break that down for you coming up in my full forecast. That unsettled weather remains and very heavy rain for southeast. Those details in that 7-day for you coming up.
Today's top story, a desperate search continues this morning off the coast of Nunivak Island. That's where 2 Alaska men disappeared after a seal hunt ended in tragedy. Now their small boat sank over the weekend here. That's near the village of McCormick. 65-year-old Albert Williams and 72-year-old Samuel Shavings are still missing. This photo was shared by Williams' daughter, showing her father and her 19-year-old brother, who was also on the boat but had survived. Now, we do not have a photo of Shavings, but troopers say the 10-foot vessel went down in rough waters. Williams' son is now recovering at home while loved ones pray for answers and for the safe return of the missing men.
He spent quite a few hours in the clinic trying to get his body temperature back to normal. And he's home, but he's very sore. We have to help him walk around. But he's been alert the whole time.
Dallas relayed what her brother told her, that the seas were really rough and the boat started taking on water. Troopers say a C-130 was launched Tuesday morning in the search effort. The Coast Guard routed a vessel toward the area as well. We reached out to the Alaska Department of Public Safety, who confirmed the search is still active. The Samuels family has chosen not to comment at this time. The leaders from the village of McCormick also declined to speak out for respect of the families involved. Well, for the first time since the tragic discovery, Skye fiancée is sharing her story. Heidi Guzin calls the moment troopers confirmed his body had been found bittersweet, bringing a measure of closure after weeks of pain. That was on Friday after a private pilot spotted Wrench's body near the mouth of the Susitna River. He was identified through dental records and his tattoos. Wrench fell through the ice in March while crossing the river on an ATV. His co-worker, Kendall, is still missing.
It's just so heavy. It's very heavy. But then at the same time, I felt relieved because I always would think about the river and like, I wonder where he is, like what is he hung up on, or I don't know, just curious. And my mind would always go there, and now I don't have to think about that, which is nice, I guess.
The family plans to honor Skye's memory later this summer. Guzin says his family plans to have him cremated, saying they want to return some of his ashes to a place that was important to him. A federal program that helps keep small Alaska communities connected is now on the chopping block. As part of budget cuts, the Trump administration wants to slash funding for essential air service. And as Joe Allgood reports, that has residents in places like Cordova worried about what comes next.
Dozens of airline routes in Alaska might lose federal funding if Congress follows a budget proposal from the Trump administration. The proposal suggests cutting $308 million from the Essential Air Service, a program that subsidizes flights from small rural communities to hub airports, carrying passengers and cargo. For residents in those communities serviced by EAS flights, the proposal is worrisome.
Especially for Cordova, I just said how it affects me personally, but also indirectly, we have very limited health care in town. The essential part of Essential Air Service is bold, highlighted, italicized. It is essential for our community.
The nationwide program includes around 70 routes in Alaska, including routes flown by Alaska Airlines, Grant Aviation, and Island Air, among others. Last October, the total amount granted by EAS contracts exceeded $41 million. Cuts to the EAS would not necessarily end the included routes. That decision would be left to the airline. But without federal funding, they could be deemed too costly.
My big fear, if prices of goods and services keep skyrocketing and the EAS is canceled, I do have a big worry that the cost of living here is going to be so much that people might start moving away.
All three members of the Alaska delegation gave statements in support of the EAS. For more of their statements, find the story on our website. Joe Allgood.
A new case of measles confirmed in Alaska is sparking serious concern among local health leaders. It is the third reported case in Alaska this year, and officials say even one case is enough to raise alarms. The Anchorage Health Department is now urging vigilance, emphasizing just how contagious the virus can be. Chief Medical Officer Dr. George Conway says while measles fatalities are rare, the threat is real and prevention is critical.
The mortality from the per individual in measles is not very high. The problem is because it can spread very rapidly if you have a very young or very old person or a person with an underlying medical condition that predisposes them to having serious problems. So they have an underlying respiratory problem, COPD, whatever, then those people are at risk of hospitalization, and some of them may indeed die from it. But even for people that are otherwise healthy and well, it's an unpleasant.
The health department says a key prevention measure is to get the measles vaccine. More information can be found on our website, and catch up with the latest news, weather, and sports any time of day on our streaming platforms on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. You can also find our special presentations and series. Add the Alaska's News Source channel to your lineup. This morning, ongoing questions about the COVID vaccine after the Trump administration announced it's rolling back certain recommendations. The unexpected move signals a significant change in policy and procedure. Sherelle Hubbard explains.
The COVID-19 vaccine policy is undergoing some big changes. U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. made the announcement Tuesday on social media.
The COVID vaccine for healthy children and healthy pregnant women has been removed from the CDC recommended immunization schedule.
Kennedy was accompanied by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration Commissioner and the National Institutes of Health Director in the video announcement.
Last year, the Biden administration urged healthy children to get yet another COVID shot despite the lack of any clinical data to support the repeat booster strategy in children.
That ends today. It's common sense and it's good science.
Kennedy says this move positions the Trump administration one step closer to delivering on the Make America Healthy Again agenda, but offered no scientific evidence to justify the change. Many medical professionals say the changes put vulnerable populations at risk.
The fact that it's no longer recommended for pregnant women is really puzzling. It's important for pregnant women.
A leading pediatrician and vaccine expert says Kennedy's records on vaccines, not science, is a driving factor behind the recommendation.
I think you have right now the head of Health and Human Services, who for 20 years has been an anti-vaccine activist, science denialist, and conspiracy theorist, and he's just carrying it on.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Well, just last week, the FDA announced a change in how it approves COVID-19 vaccines, a move that could impact the availability of future shots for older Americans and people at higher risk of serious COVID-19 infection. And the symptoms of long COVID can differ for infants versus children ages 3 to 5. A study published in JAMA found infants and toddlers 2 years and younger are more likely to experience poor appetite, trouble sleeping, coughing, and stuffy nose. But kids ages 3 to 5 are more likely to experience daytime tiredness, low energy, and a dry cough. Doctors say there's still much we don't know about long COVID. Coming up, potato season is here, and one Fairbanks gardener is digging deep to show you how it's done, from soil to storage. He's harvesting hundreds of pounds a year and sharing his tips. You'll want to see this tater takeover.
We will see some sunshine returning throughout the day, but additional showers and thunderstorms into the evening look possible. I'll have more on that in a 7-day forecast for you. But first, sunrise, 4:42 in Anchorage, 5:33 in Bethel. Your full forecast is next.
Okay. Well, that's not a music video, although sounds like it, but that is a nun, obviously, beatboxing live on TV. The moment unfolded last week during a broadcast on Brazil's Catholic TV channel. Two nuns there and a priest were discussing their ministry work, but then mid-song, one sister broke out in a freestyle beat. Her companions started dancing, and the internet did too. The clip quickly went viral with viewers worldwide praising the performance for its joyful energy and unexpected talent. I'll say, yeah, I did. Oh, okay, I see what you're talking about, Aaron, on the foot moves. But yeah, all of them, they got some little talent there. But I love that you know, you kind of have that stereotype and then here they are breaking that.
Yeah, and not only breaking the mold, but I mean, sometimes you just got to bring that energy out there.
Yeah.
And that's what those sisters are doing right there. Certainly enjoy watching those videos. As far as those temperatures this morning, across the state, we are continuing to hold on to somewhat cooler conditions, particularly out towards the northwest Arctic borough. Notice the temperatures yesterday. We did manage to top out in the 60s across the Anchorage Bowl. We hit 62 degrees, which is the third time this month we have managed to warm into the 60s, which is not typical for the month of May, as we usually see about 7 days during the month where we warm into the 70s. The last 3 consecutive years, though, have brought 3 60-degree readings during the month of May. And through the rest of this month, it's going to be very hard to achieve that 60-degree reading once more, as we are going to continue to hold on to unsettled weather. We've got some lingering activity through the interior. We've got some spotty showers possible across South Central this morning, but the heaviest rain continues to impact areas out towards southeast. This comes from an area of this atmospheric river that continues to slam and feed ample moisture into southeast, where we've already seen up to 4 inches of rain accumulation out towards Ketchikan over the last 48 hours. Now, keep in mind when we're talking about this very heavy rainfall, particularly with the topography that we do have out towards southeast, there is that potential that we could see some landslide issues when we're talking about this very heavy rain, as additional rounds of some 1 to 2 inches looks possible out towards Ketchikan. Notice as you head from the central Panhandle north, a little bit less activity has occurred, but we're still tapping into some of that heavier rainfall that will stay with us throughout the remainder of today. It will begin to lighten up this afternoon, so between now and at least 1 to 2 p.m., we are going to see the heaviest rainfall before it does begin to lighten up some. And then notice this area of low pressure that's going to be building out of southeast Alaska. That's going to bring us our additional rounds of some showers and thunderstorms here across South Central. So into the evening hours, much like we saw yesterday, we'll see additional additional rounds of some thunderstorms firing across South Central. Here in Anchorage, we could see the potential for a stray shower, but we'll continue to hold on to this unsettled weather. Thursday may be a bit on the drier side outside of some coastal regions and areas of the Susitna Valley. And then as we welcome in our Friday, we're going to see additional rounds of some rain pushing across South Central, and you can see even more rain expected for Southeast. So we're back in this unsettled and wet weather pattern, which will keep us slightly cooler. We are expecting highs today to warm back into the mid to upper 50s across Anchorage. 60s do look possible through the Matsu Valley, while the rest of South Central likely stays in the 50s. We'll see that heavy rain again out towards Southeast. Those temperatures warming into the 50s. An additional 1 to 2.5 inches of rain looks possible for Ketchikan. So be vigilant of your surroundings with this heavy rain. This is what tends to bring those potential for some landslides. Now across South Central, we do have that AM sunshine with that PM showers and storms arriving. Some breezy conditions once again building back in across South Central with winds of about 20 to 35 miles per hour. Slightly cooler through Prince William Sound. This is where we'll see that better chance for rain into the evening with 60s in the valley. We'll also see a decent opportunity for some thunderstorm development this evening. 57 in Anchorage. Winds could gust up to 35 miles per hour. And then, of course, that 7-day forecast still favoring those temperatures in the 50s. So if we do not hit 60 before Saturday, we will end the month of May with only 3 60-degree readings, which we've achieved for the last 3 years.
All right. Thanks, Aaron. Well, if you haven't planted your potatoes yet, you are not too late. One Fairbanks gardener is sharing his secrets for a big harvest. Tracy Sinclair has this week's Artic Gardens.
If you haven't started your potatoes yet, it's probably about time. I know of 4 ways to grow potatoes. The first one is your traditional method. You put the potato in the ground and you hill dirt around it. The second one is the lazy way to grow potatoes. That's putting the potato into the ground just to a shallow depth and covering it with straw or soil and then letting it go. The third way is growing potatoes in containers. I have not had very good luck with this. I'm clearly not an expert, but thankfully, I know someone who is. How many pounds of potatoes do you get every year?
Somewhere between 200 and 300 usually. We get, we fill up 18-gallon tubs like that, and we usually fill up 4 to 5 of those every year.
We definitely want to see how Don is doing this.
So we're going to put about 6 inches of soil in the bottom. And this is just garden soil that we have a bin in the back. So we have about 6 inches in here. A 1/4 cup. This is just all-purpose organic fertilizer.
A quick mix with your hands and gloves definitely recommended.
And then it's just a matter of, there's a down end and an up end. The eyes, you want the eyes up. And there's a little nib at one end. It's right here. That's where the bottom root comes out.
Don puts 2 seed potatoes in each 8-gallon pot. Cover them with dirt and set the pots in a place that doesn't get a lot of direct sunlight. In a few weeks, you'll start to see plants. Make sure to keep enough soil covering the potatoes so the sun doesn't get to them. You said we're now in May, almost June, and you still got potatoes from last year.
Yep.
And so how long is that going to carry you? Will that carry you until this next harvest?
No, we're pretty much done with last year's potatoes. There's a dozen or 2 left.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, just finished the carrots and just about to finish the potatoes.
That's a harvest I'd like to see. Now, the 4th way that I've grown potatoes is in a potato tower. If you'd like to see how I put mine together this year, check out the web extra on our website. Just find the tab that says Artic Gardens. Tracy Sinclair, Alaska's News Source.
Just a few days remain in this year's May No Child Go Hungry food drive, a joint effort from our Fairbanks stations, KTVF, KXDF, and KFXF, to support the Fairbanks Community Food Bank. Nearly 40% of those helped are children. To learn how you can get involved, just scan that QR code on your screen.
You've been listening to the Alaska's News Source podcast. Subscribe to have the latest episodes delivered to your library automatically.